Sometimes in our boating lifetime, we're going to need some assistance out on the water, and hopefully when we need that assistance, it's not too far away, just like some of the people we're going to see in this week's episode of the Boating News of the Week. Our first incident to be featured on the Boating News this week is a pretty wild one, and it's going to show what happens when you decide you're going to have a wild time on vacation. Here we're going to see this young lady decided she was going to enjoy her vacation with a nice parasail, but weather has moved in, forcing her parasail to be cut short. Unfortunately though, the winds have picked up, and this crew right here is struggling to get the parasail back down to the water. They're kind of in full-on panic mode as they try and bring this person back down to the vessel, when all of a sudden one of the worst things that can happen actually happens, and the cable that's holding this parasailer to the vessel snaps, and well, this person's now on a new type of adventure. Honestly, I can't even fathom the thoughts that are probably going through this young lady's head as this is happening. This has got to be one of the scariest moments, if not the scariest moment of her life. And the craziest parts, it's all kind of happening in slow motion as this parasail slowly makes its descent into the city and down to earth. But right here she can be seen passing another building, and things are kind of going her way. Right now she's got to be thinking, I've got to be able to land this somehow, some way. And here we can see she has her legs bent and really is trying to prep herself for a landing, and all of a sudden the parachute gets entangled in power lines in the city. Somehow she never even touches the ground to this point right here where they have to cut her down. Fortunately for this young lady, somehow she escapes this event, only suffering some minor scrapes and bruises, which is an absolute miracle. I mean, this really could have gone so many different ways. And here you're going to see, I mean, she got down just in the nick of time, because as you'll see here in a few moments, this storm really starts to open up. If this storm would have hit just a few moments earlier, we could be having a very, very different conversation right now. Our next event to be featured in the Boating News this week is going to be a near miss as well. This crazy video shows two men barely escaping a pickup truck that crashes into a boat in front of Top Shop Automotive and Marine in Lynn, Massachusetts a few weeks back. Fortunately for the shop owner and the customer who are featured in this video, this truck actually hits a parked SUV first, which alerts these two that the vehicle is actually coming. If it had not hit that vehicle, we're not sure if they would have even known the truck was heading their way. The driver of this pickup truck was on their way back from a vaccination shot and actually passed out behind the wheel. Even hitting the boat did not wake them up. They actually had to smash the window, pull the keys out of the ignition before this person even awoke. Somehow miraculously, there were no major injuries reported in this event either. Our next incident to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to California, where the U.S. Coast Guard received a distress signal this past week via satellite communicator stating that a 23-year-old woman on board the sailboat Cibola had somehow accidentally ingested antifreeze. But the major problem here, they were 380 miles off the coast of California. Due to air limitations from the Coast Guard's helicopters, the Coast Guard cutter Midget actually had to be diverted so it could be used as a refueling station approximately 230 miles off the coast of California. Due to the lengthy distance offshore and the shuffling of assets, the Coast Guard arrived approximately 12 hours after the emergency call came in. Here the rescue swimmer can be seen on board the sailboat, and you'll be able to tell here in a few moments that the lady pretty much is in desperate need of medical attention. Fortunately for this crew, the Coast Guard recognized this was probably going to be the scenario and actually brought a San Francisco Fire Department paramedic on board with them. One of the Coast Guard members was actually quoted as saying the San Francisco Fire Department's paramedic assistance was vital to saving this sailor's life, as he assisted the Coast Guard rescue swimmer to stabilizing and taking care of her during the 4-hour transit back to San Francisco. The most incredible part of this story to me, it just shows the amount of effort and persistence the Coast Guard will go through to render assistance if you're ever in an emergency out on the water. It really should make you feel better, especially if you're a type of person who likes to go out there and take boating trips that are just a little bit outside of the normal and will lead you out into places that are a little more remote. That if something goes wrong, you've got assistance coming your way if needed. Our next incident to make the boating news this week is going to take us back over to the East Coast, where things are heating up in Dania Beach, Florida, where this past Wednesday, 2 people had to be rushed to the hospital as 2 vessels broke out into flames at a local marina. Witnesses claim that one of the boats was being reglazed when for some reason there was an explosion which caught the boat on fire. It's unclear at this time exactly what caused the malfunction and the flames to break out on the vessel. The fire spread from the vessel that was having work done to another vessel, and quickly both vessels were engulfed in flames. Both vessels are now destroyed with one under the water. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know when you might see your stories over here. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on that subscribe button. If not, we're coming to steal your drain plug.